Wā piki piki tā, whaki kake kake tā, whaki kia rere mai, he tini kia rere mai, he rangi. He rangi matara ki te urangi whai te tiri taka taka whangaenga te mārama papa mai. Kaua te angi angi pū, ka tapa tapa tāhau ngeri ka pani kei a wai ka pani kei ai tū ka hau hau te toki mata pō, ia huri te pō, moi mārire mai. Wā kamate, kamate, kaora, kaora. Kamate, kamate, kaora, kaora. Tēnei te tangata puhuru, puhuru, nāna nei tiki mai. Waka whiti te rā. Upane, kaupane. Upane, kaupane, whiti te rā. Hii! Wā tēnā rā tātou katoa, nau mai, haere mai ki tēnei hui o tātou. He uri tēnei no porou āri ki te matatara whārea kura rauru. Tihei Māori ora. Tēnā koutou katoa. Hello to everyone and welcome back to your afternoon with me, Jordan Young, learning about the Haka. I hope you guys are all excited and energized and ready to learn a little bit about this fantastic aspect of Māori culture. What I just delivered unto you just then is a very traditional greeting in Te Reo Māori. First and foremost, dialing into the memory of my ancestors who have given this beautiful gift of Te Reo Māori as well as the Haka. And then you heard me performing the Haka that we're going to be learning a little bit about today called Kamate. And so I just want to welcome you all back to New Zealand Fest and hope you guys are really excited. For the moment, I'm going to just take a seat while I talk a little bit to you about the Haka. And so allow me to do that just momentarily. And then I'll be getting up again to take you guys through the Haka. So, what is the Haka? Most people know the Haka as a very famous dance that is delivered by the Māori people, or more famously in more recent times, a war dance done by the All Blacks before they play rugby. And both things are indeed true. The word Haka has a few different meanings. The Haka, as you may or may not know, is not unique to the Māori people. It's actually something that's done all across different cultures of Polynesia, and it's done for a variety of different things. You might be familiar with the Haka that's done from Samoa or from the island of Tonga or other parts of the Pacific as well. The meaning of Haka basically means to dance. It can also mean to chant, and it can also be broken up and disseminated in different ways. The word ha, for example, means to breathe, and the word ka in Māori means to ignite. And so when you combine these two words, ha and ka, you get the ignition of the breath. You can also take Haka to mean a few different things depending on the context in which it's being performed. You have a few different types of Haka that are done. One is called a Haka peru peru, and you don't need to worry about any kind of quiz at the end. You don't need to worry about being tested on any of this. This is very much just a breakdown for your information. So first and foremost, how many types of Haka are there, or are there lots of different types of Haka? The answer is yes. One type of Haka is called a Haka peru peru, and Haka peru peru is known as a Haka for warfare. This particular Haka can be identified wherein the performers are wielding weapons. A lot of times Māori will wield weapons such as taiaha, which is a long spear, or things like patu, which is a striking club, oftentimes made from pounamu greenstone or sometimes made from bone. And these types of Haka were traditionally performed by warriors before they would engage in battle. But although this is the probably most famous context that Haka arrives in, it's not the only context wherein Haka is performed. So the first Haka is called Haka Peru Peru, and this is a war Haka, a Haka that's done before two tribes would engage in battle. And the reasons for the battle could be various. The next type of Haka that you'll often see is a Haka Manawa Wera. And the Haka Manawa Wera is the type of Haka that's done to commemorate someone when they have passed away. You may have seen a tangihanga, which is a Māori funeral procession, as part of the ceremonial procedures. Oftentimes when the tūpāpaku or the deceased is on its way to the urupa or the cemetery for its final burial, there will be a Haka Manawa Wera to essentially send that body off to its final resting place. It's also done at the actual tangihanga celebration as well, but this is the second type of Haka, a Haka Manawa Wera. So you have the Haka Peru Peru, and then you have the Haka Manawa Wera, and then you also have another type of Haka as well, which is a Haka Ngeri. And the Haka Ngeri is a Haka that can celebrate a different type of occasion, whether it's someone's birthday, whether it's someone's graduation, whether it's someone's life or achievements. So the first thing to point out with regard to the Haka for your information is that there are many different types of Haka that exist and are done in a variety of different contexts. A lot of people have, I want to say, the misconception that Haka is only something that's done before battle, but it's actually done in a number of different contexts. It's done to celebrate, it's done to lament, it's done to remember, and it's also done in modern times to compete. There does exist something known as Haka fitness. That's right. In Māori culture, we have a competition that's run every year, and this is called Te Manahua, and this is also known as Te Matatini, and this is a celebration of all things Māori performing arts, and Haka is a very important feature in the performance. So that is the basic definition of Haka. It means to chant, it means to dance. There are different types of Haka, a Haka Peru Peru, a Haka Manawa Wera, a Haka Ngeri. There are also other contexts as well wherein Haka might happen. Now, the Haka that we're going to be learning together today is a Haka called Kamate, and this is the Haka that you heard me chanting at the start of today's session. And the Haka was composed in around the year 1820 by a very famous chief known as Te Rauparaha. And Te Rauparaha is known as the eponymous ancestor of a very famous tribe in the south of the North Island called Ngāti Toa. They have their origins in the west coast of Aotearoa in Taranaki, and that tribe would move into the lower regions of the North Island. And when they were moving, Te Rauparaha was, I guess, the type of chief that had his friends and he also had his enemies. And it wasn't uncommon for Māori chiefs in the early 1800s to be unpopular with each other because of the relationships that they were beginning to forge with the growing British population. And Te Rauparaha was quite famous for being quite friendly with the British. There were certain advantages chiefs could gain from being friendly with the British, most notably the procurement of weapons like muskets and new technologies and all the rest of it. And so Te Rauparaha became somewhat of a wanted man, and he was being pursued by a neighboring or an opposing tribe in the middle of the North Island, in a place called Opotaka, which is just south of the Taupo Lake in the Tūrangi region, if you're familiar with your New Zealand geography. And so Te Rauparaha was being chased, and when he was being chased in this area, he took refuge in a village wherein he was hidden by the chief of the village. When Te Rauparaha was hidden inside a kumara pit, he could hear the tribe that wanted to get him above ground. And it was when he was in this sort of perilous situation that he began the Haka Kamate. He was in the Kumara pit. He was being sheltered by the charitable people he'd come across, and he could hear the war party who were after him above ground. And at this point, he said the words, "Kamate, kamate," which means it is death, it is death. Ka ora, it is life, it is life. Tēnei te tangata, puhuru, puhuru. This is the man, this is the chief, who can essentially have me killed if he was to give away my whereabouts. A kumara pit is a hole that was dug in the ground to keep vegetables like kumara cool and dry and better preserved. And so he was basically in the fridge of this village while he was listening to the pursuers chatting to the chief and the other villagers. And while he was listening to this conversation above, he thought that his life was about to end. Tēnei te tangata puhuru puhuru. This is the man that could essentially nāna nei tiki mai whakawhiti te rā, take away the sunshine from me or have me killed. When he heard the war party leaving, he decided it's time to climb the ladder and get out of the pit. So the words upane kopane mean to rise, to climb, to ascend. Upane kopane whiti te rā. When he gets out of the pit, the sun shines on him again. And so this haka that's very famous is inspired by a story of very much escaping death narrowly. And that idea is very powerful because it speaks to overcoming obstacles, staring death or adversity in the face, being calm under pressure, and then eventually coming out on the right side of it. And so that idea, those concepts are very universal, broadly applicable, and for that reason have made this haka and its message very, very popular. This haka has been made very famous by the All Blacks, the famous rugby team from Aotearoa, and they started doing it quite a few number of years ago, but they've stopped doing it in more recent times because they've adopted their own haka known as kapa or pango. But the significance of the haka kamate for the All Blacks is it's the haka that they've been doing during, you might say, their longest period of domination of world rugby. And the haka has actually been seen internationally as almost giving the team a bit of an advantage because New Zealand have been so dominant at rugby, people have been only too quick to want to point to something that's given them this perceived unfair advantage. And the haka, given its proximity to the start of the game and given the excitement about it, the motivation that comes about after doing it, many people have thought that the haka has given the All Blacks a bit of an unfair advantage. But suffice to say, the haka kamate has been most notably popularized through the All Blacks. So, with that in mind, I'd like to take you guys through the haka kamate. Bearing in mind, if you have any questions relating to the haka, there is going to be a little bit of a Q&A time towards the end of the session. We're going to go through the haka and the pronunciation. We're going to go through the actions as well. And as we go through, I'm going to try and explain to you how the actions relate to the story, as well as how the words relate to the story as well. So in order to do this, you can stand up if you want, or you can stay seated where you are. There are a couple of commands that you're going to have to just get familiar with. And we'll also start off by just going through the pronunciation. So you don't need to stand up just yet. We'll go through the pronunciation first, and then we'll go through the actions, and then we'll spend a little bit of time trying to go through it together as best as possible. And then once we've had a good crack at the Haka, we'll finish off with a little bit of Q&A if you have any questions pertaining to the Haka. So hopefully that's sounding exciting. I'm ready for it. Let's get the lyrics up on the screen so you guys can all see what we are dealing with here. Fantastic. Now, we also have our whānau in London who are going to be joining in and are going to be demonstrating alongside. Kia ora to the whānau.
Kia ora.
Haere mai, welcome. Thank you for joining. So, to begin with, we're going to go through the pronunciation. So, if you can repeat after me, it goes like this. Kamate, kamate.
Kamate, kamate.
Nice. Ka ora, ka ora.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Nice. Now, we do this twice. So when we go through the Haka in real time, in real speed, we'll go through it 2 times in a row. For now, we'll just go through the rest of the pronunciation. The next line goes like this. Tēnei te tangata.
Tēnei te tangata.
Nice. And then we have this word here, which is puhuru, puhuru.
Puhuru, puhuru.
You can say puhuru, puhuru, or you can also say puhuru, huru for the rhythm. So let's go through this, the second one, because it's written down. So puhuru, huru.
Puhuru, huru.
Yeah, nice. The next line goes like this. Na na nei tiki mai.
Na na nei tiki mai.
The next line. Whakawhiti tērā.
Whakawhiti tērā.
Aupane.
Aupane.
Kaupane.
Kaupane.
Aupane, kaupane, whiti tērā.
Aupane, kaupane, whiti tērā.
Nice. Okay, so pronunciation in Māori is very important and you are sounding fantastic out there. So let's go through it one more time. And if you're following along, hopefully you're not doing it in the middle of your quiet office or next to your pets that might be alarmed out there. But feel free to give it a little bit of volume and energy if you want to. But yeah, try not to draw too much suspicious attention to yourself. Here we go again. I'll try and deliver it in rhythm. So here we go. Kamate, kamate.
Kamate, kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Kamate, kamate.
Kamate, kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Tēnei te tangata.
Tēnei te tangata.
Puhuru, huru.
Puhuru, huru.
Nāna nei tiki mai.
Nāna nei tiki mai.
Whakawhiti tērā.
Whakawhiti tērā.
Aupane.
Aupane.
Kaupane.
Kaupane.
Aupane, kaupane, whiti tērā.
Aupane, kaupane, whiti tērā.
Fantastic. Okay, so hopefully you're all following along out there and you've got the pronunciation sounding as lovely as the ladies in London. Now, the next thing to do is to try to get the lyrics in time without sort of repeating. So we're going to go through 2 or 3 times just chanting the words in time. So if you have a listen first, I'll chant it to you all so you can have a listen to the rhythm. and then we'll try and do it all together, just following with the lyrics. So, taringa whakarongo means like have a listen, and afterwards we'll go together. So it goes like this. Wa kamate kamate ka ora ka ora. Kamate kamate ka ora ka ora. Tēnei te tangata puhuru. Huru nāna nei tiki mai whakawhiti tērā. Upane kaupane. Upane kaupane whiti tērā. So that's the rhythm. You can hear when I go tēnei te tangata puhuru huru nā. Usually there's two ways to say the word. The word means the same thing either way, but you can say puhuru, and that second puhuru kind of gives a nice little bridge to the second part. Or you can say puhuru huru na. You have like almost like a little pause or a little break there. You can get a little air in there. So I'll start off by going kamate, kamate, and then you guys can all join in, and we'll try and chant the haka all together. And if you're following along at home, do your best to keep up with the rhythm. We'll try not to go too fast. So here we go. Taringa whakarongo, which means listen. Here we go. Wa kamate kamate ka ora ka ora. Join in. Kamate kamate ka ora ka ora. Tēnei te tangata puhuru huru nāna nei tiki mai whakawhiti tērā. Upane kaupane. Upane kaupane whiti tērā. Cool. Did that work? I think that is the...
We didn't know whether to echo.
Oh, okay. Cool. So when I say kamate, kamate, you say ka ora, ka ora. How about that? And then I'll say kamate, kamate, and then you say ka ora, and then we'll all go in together from tēnei te tangata puhuru puhuru nāna nei. We'll try it like that, yeah? So I'll go kamate, and then everybody out there watching can go ka ora, ka ora. All right, here we go. Kamate, kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Kamate, kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Together. Tēnei te tangata puhuru huru nāna nei tiki mai whakawhiti tērā. Upane kaupane. Upane kaupane whiti tērā. Cool. All right, I'm up. I'm into it.
Ready for the actions, guys?
I really am. I can't do it without.
Okay, so it's time to go through it with the actions now. Now, when you're doing haka, you're telling a story with your mouth, with the words. You're telling a story with your body. You're telling a story with your actions, and you're accentuating and you're embellishing all of it with your face by using different facial expressions, and your energy and your passion will sort of help to carry over your whatever it is you're doing the haka for. So remember when I talked to you about warfare, doing a haka before warfare, if you're about to engage in a big fight and it could be to the death, this could be your final haka. And so you give it everything, not so as to make your performance in the battle completely shocking, but so as to show the opposition, this is the passion that we have, this is the organization that we have, we're all doing the same moves. And in the context of maybe acknowledging someone that's passed away, the passion, the emotion that you give is going to be representative of the love that you have or the respect you have for that person, and so on and so forth. So the haka isn't just done with the words, it's done with the face, it's done with the body. And so you want to think about being relaxed, and you want to think about having a nice posture. When it comes to the posture for men, men tend to be a little bit more lower to the ground, a little bit more like physical, and a little bit more animated with the movements. When it comes to the women tends to have a slightly more demure approach, I want to say, to the haka, in that there's an air of femininity that is retained during the haka, but it's still nonetheless not to be messed with and not to be taken or mistaken for any kind of weakness or anything like that. So women will tend to have a slightly more upright posture when doing the haka, with the shoulders back and the chest up. Women don't squat low to the ground. Women stay a little bit taller in terms of their performance posture, and the movements are done in a quite a refined, terse sort of manner. So where men are grabbing out here and smashing things down here, the women are keeping it nice and tight and nice and organized. Now, when it comes to the facial expressions, you might be familiar with the pūkana, which is what I just did there. Women don't stick the tongues out traditionally in Māori when it comes to the pūkana. What women do is widen the eyes, clench the jaw, and just look at you as if you didn't empty the dishwasher. You're in trouble. Yeah, so it's something like that. This is a pūkana for the wahine. And again, it's there to retain a sense of femininity and class, but also to remind the people watching that you're not to be trifled with. Whereas the men can stick out the tongue. And this goes back to the idea of making yourself look scary, looking yourself look intimidating. So yeah, men a little bit over the top, women poised, feminine, powerful, classy, something like that. So when it comes to the actions, you have a couple of different default positions. This is called a wiri. A wiri is like a shimmering motion. You don't want to show your palms. You want to keep your hands flat to your sides, a bit like this. Okay, kia wiri. This shimmering motion is a traditional move that just shows that you're ready. So when I say taringa whakarongo, which means listen up, you need to be in this position here. Just shaking your hands to the side here, just trembling. It just shows a sign of readiness. You can see the whānau in London are all looking ready because the hands are shaking. And you're just turning from the wrists, just keeping it nice and small. Again, nice and relaxed. You don't want to be too stiff. You just want to be nice and relaxed, just like what you're seeing with the whānau in London. Okay, here we go. So when I say taringa whakarongo, kia rite, kia mau, then you guys go he. So you take your right foot and you step out to the side and you put your hands on your hips, hands on your hope, and you go he. The note is a lower note, so it's like a sort of deep he. Yeah? Here we go. Taringa whakarongo, kia rite, kia mau. He. Nice, and you stay there. Now the next thing I'm going to say is I'm going to say wai wai takahia. When I say wai wai takahia, you're going to just stamp your feet. Boom, boom, boom. And you're going to create a rhythm. Boom, boom, boom. And then I'm going to say ringa pakia. Boom. When I say that, you start smacking your thighs. At the same time, you hit the floor. Yeah, in time is good. In time is good. Boom. That's it. And then I go like this. I say kamate, kamate. You say ka ora, ka ora. Here we go. Kamate, kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
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 One more time. Kamate, kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Okay, can stop there. All right, kapai. So relax. You can chill. Don't need to worry about your haka posture. You can shake it out. That's the start of the haka. Okay, so you're standing at attention. When you hear the leader say taringa whakarongo, that means taringa are your ears, whakarongo is listen. So listen up, get ready, kia rite, and then kia mau. Kia mau means to seize it, to take the moment. And when I say kia mau, you go he. You stand, you step out, and you got your hands on your hips, and that alerts the attention of everyone listening, watching, that we're ready to go. The next thing I'll say is wai takahia, and you just start stamping. Boom, boom, boom. It's the slower the better. You don't want to go too fast. And then I'll say ringa pakia, boom. And you stamp and you slap at the same time. That's it. Nice. When you're slapping your thighs, it's from the front here. Boom. So not out here like this. Here. Boom. 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 Nice. Okay. The first action, it goes, you slap twice. Kamate, kamate, ka ora, ka ora. Kamate, kamate, ka ora, ka ora. So that's the first action. It's slapping the thighs on kamate, and then it's ka ora, ka ora. From the side, kamate, kamate, ka ora, ka ora. You can think of it is life, it is life. You're bringing the life into the body. That's the whole idea of this action here. Kamate, kamate, and then the life. You're bringing the life into the body. And so that's the first action. So we'll go through kamate, kamate, ka ora, and we'll go up to the next line, which goes like this. You're going to grab with your right hand, tēnei te tangata. And then you're going to take your right hand and you're going to push it down towards the ground, simultaneously opening up the hands like this. So it's tēnei te tangata puhuru puhuru. You keep your left arm extended a little bit, and then you just push the right hand down in front of you like this. So it's tēnei te tangata puhuru puhuru. You can think of these actions as being, this is the person that put me in the hole. Yeah, because at this point of the haka, te rauparaha is down inside the pit, thinking, that's it, I'm done. So, tēnei te tangata puhuru puhuru. Yeah, and then we repeat that same set of actions to begin the next line. We grab nā nei tiki mai whakawhiti tērā. So we're jumping ahead, I know. We'll go up to puhuru puhuru, okay, with the action. So hopefully if you guys out there are all still with us, still enjoying it, we're going to go from kamate kamate down to puhuru puhuru, and then nā nei tiki mai is like the second half of it. So let's begin with the kia wiri. So kia wiri means to shake the palms, trembling away. You're now ready. Here we go. Taringa wakarongo, kia rite, kia mau.
He.
Wai takahia. Stamping the feet. Ringa pakia. O kamate, kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Kamate, kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Here we go. Tēnei te tangata puhuru puhuru nā nei tiki mai whakawhiti tērā. Okay. So you see how it goes really quickly, doesn't it? It goes quickly. You'd be thinking, all right, I'm doing it. And then, oh, hang on, where am I? What am I doing? So just to recap for everyone out there, we have, I'm going to say kamate, and you're going to say ka ora, ka ora. We all come in together when it's tēnei te tangata puhuru, puhuru. So remember, right after you've done ka ora, we're straight into it. Right hand grabs, left hand grabs, down in the hole, down in the hole. So, tēnei te tangata puhuru, puhuru. Nā nei. That's the next action. Grab right, grab left. Yeah, nā nei. Okay, here we go. Kia wiri, taringa whakarongo, kia rite, kia mau.
He.
Wai wai takahia. Ringa pakia. Wa kamate, kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Kamate, kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Tēnei te tangata puhuru, puhuru, nā nei tiki mai. Okay.
It's a lot of reactions.
Yeah, if you're out there and you're keeping up, fantastic. You've got a pretty hard task in front of you because you've got a foreign language, which is tricky. You've got different pronunciation, and then we've got learning the words and their rhythm, and then assigning an action, all simultaneous. So listen, we're not expecting to completely nail it perfectly, but just so you know, you're already over halfway. So let's see if we can get a few more. Let's see if we can finish it off, and then we'll have a few more goes, and then we'll break for some Q&A. So we're now up to puhuru, puhuru. So it goes right hand grab, tēnei te tangata puhuru, puhuru. Then we grab again, nā nei tiki mai whakawhiti te rā. So it goes right hand grab, nā nei tiki mai. And then you take your right hand underneath your left elbow, and it's like there's a piece of string there, and you grab that string, you bring your hands back in front, and you look up to the sky. So it goes like this. Nā nei tiki mai whakawhiti te rā. That whiti te rā means the sun is shining. So you imagine this is the man. Nā nei, this is the man. Boom. Nā nei tiki mai. Tiki is to fetch. So you're taking the hand and you're fetching the sun and you're raising up to acknowledge it. So that's you look to the sky on Ra. The next actions are pretty easy because you go like this. Upa ne, kopa ne. Imagine you're climbing a ladder and you're taking your hands up from one rung, pulling yourself up onto the next rung, and you're climbing a ladder. That's the imagery that goes along with these actions. So it goes upa ne, kopa ne, and then you speed it up. Upa ne, kopa ne, and then we have, once again, grabbing the string, whiti te rā, hi, to finish. Okay.
Can you do that one? Do you go left first and then right?
Yeah. Go to the left first. Upa ne, kopa ne. So left, right, and then fast left, right. For the last line, so it goes. So let's go from we've got the first bit. Let's go from nā nei. So nā, you're grabbing with the right. Nei, you're grabbing with the left. Then you're grabbing the string underneath. Hands in front, up to the sky. Ready? Toru, fa. So it goes. Nā nei tiki mai whakawhiti te rā. To the left. Upa ne, kopa ne. Double time. Upa ne, kopa ne, whiti te rā. Hi. Yeah. Okay, from nā nei again. So nā nei, grabbing right, grabbing left, string under the elbow, hands out in front, up to the sky. Toru, fa. Nā nei tiki mai whakawhiti te rā. To the left. Upane, kopane. Upane, kopane, fitsitera. Nice. Okay, one more time. Toru, fa, nana nei. Nana nei tiki mai whakawhitsitera. Upane, kopane. Upane, kopane, fitsitera. Nice. All right, very good. So let's try it right from the top.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, let's try it right from the top. Yeah, and I can see Tracy saying, just to hit up the chat, saying it's a bit tricky towards the ends. It gets a little bit of, it gets a bit quick towards the ends. And I see Julie still hanging in there. Jacqueline's having fun. Yeah, if you really give it heaps, you can burn up to 700 calories in like a 1 hour haka sesh. Yeah. Not in just the one haka. I wouldn't give you that misinformation. But if you really go for it, wow. But the problem is you also rinse your voice out as well. So you gotta be careful. Okay, here we go. So if you're still with us out there, we're gonna try and go through the whole thing now. And if you can commit yourself to the words over the actions, or vice versa, absolutely fine. Here we go. So kia ora, shaking the hands. Remember, that just shows that you're ready, you're into it, you're nice and relaxed. You've just got the hands shaking, and you've got the palms turned in, so not out like this, just hands at the side, nice and relaxed. Get in a nice deep breath. Here we go. Taringa wakarongo, kia rite, kia mo.
He.
Wai wai takahia. Ringa pakia. Wa kamate kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Kamate kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Tēnei te tangata puhuru puhuru nāna nei tiki mai whakawhitsitera. Upane kopane. Upane kopane fitsitera.
He.
Good. All right, let's go through it. We'll go through it 2 more times because it's sounding good. It's we're nearly there. We'll do it without the big intro, and then we'll go with the big intro, and we'll try and give it a little bit of energy. Okay, so we're just going to start with on the beat. So if you guys follow me for the beat. Cool. Wa kamate kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Kamate kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Tēnei te tangata puhuru puhuru nāna nei tiki mai whakawhitsitera. Upane kopane. Upane kopane fitsitera. Nice. Okay, so before we do the final one, let's go through it 2 times in a row. So instead of going he at the end, we're going to do kamate again. So remember, I'll lead it and you guys respond with ka ora, ka ora. So traditionally, you do it twice through. So we'll do it the traditional way. Okay, so if you're still out there and you're still engaged, we're going to go through it 2 times. So instead of fitsitera he, we're not going to do the he. We just go straight into kamate, kamate again. All right, so here we go. Wai wai takahia. Ringa pakia. Wa kamate kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Kamate kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Tēnei te tangata puhuru puhuru nāna nei tiki mai whakawhitsitera. Upane kopane. Hupane kopane fitsitera. Kamate kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Kamate kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Tēnei te tangata puhuru puhuru. Nāna nei tiki mai whakawhitsitera. Upane kopane. Upane kopane fitsitera. Ooh. Good. Good. All right, whānau. So last go, and then we'll finish up for Q&A. This time we'll do the intro, and we'll do it twice. Yeah, just because it's starting to feel really good now. You guys are sounding good out there. So here we go. Kia ori, taringa wakarongo, kia rite, kia mau. Wai takahia. Ringa pakia. O kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Tēnei te tangata puhuru nāna nei tiki mai whakawhitsitera. Upane kopane. Upane kopane fitsitera. O kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Kamate.
Ka ora, ka ora.
Tēnei te tangata puhuru nāna nei tiki mai whakawhitsitera. Upane kopane. Upane kopane fitsitera. Woo. All right, give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Well done. Thanks.
To the whānau in London, you guys did well.
Yeah.
You guys did great out there. If you're at home.
Thanks, Jordan. That was a lot of fun. We had a few newbies with us today, so good to get them learning the haka as well.
Yeah, you guys did great.
That was incredible. You looked amazing. Well done. Hope everyone at home was enjoying it as well.
I know. It's a shame we couldn't have everyone on the screen with us, so you had to watch us attempt it. But yeah, it's always good to get up and have a bit of a move around and learn it. It's really fun.
I wish I'd got the TTG team in the office involved now. Next time. Cool. Okay. Thank you both very much. Thank you, Jordan, for leading that. That was fantastic.
No, my pleasure. Does anyone have any pātai, any questions about the haka? Because if you do, we've got a little bit of time, but if not, then absolutely fine. I'll take that as a bit of a compliment.
Yeah, you covered it all off already. If we do get any in the chat, I'll flag those for you, Jordan.
Nice.
But I just thought I'd do a quick wrap up for the day, if that's all right. Trying to say to everyone at home to don't forget to answer the questions in the polls tab for the sessions earlier today. If you did miss those, you can go back and watch them and answer the questions. That is for the chance to win prizes. So today we have the daily prize of a case of New Zealand wine. So someone who's answered the most questions correctly today will be sent a case of wine. Tomorrow we've got the skincare pack as the prize. So that's including a kiwi seed oil lip conditioner, joyful hand body cream, and a manuka honey face mask. And then, of course, there is the overall prize, which is the one return economy flight to New Zealand, courtesy of Air New Zealand, 5 days of camper rental at THL, and access to Tourism New Zealand's Explore programme. So there are 2 sets of that prize up for grabs this week. We do have a question here in the chat from Charlotte. Jordan, how many people would you usually do the haka?
It really depends. It depends on the situation. It depends on who's around. You can have a small group of one person doing the haka to honor someone. Like say you're your mom or your dad just received their degree and you are in the crowd and you wanted to give them a haka to celebrate them receiving their award or their certification, one person can do it. Or, as we saw, I think earlier in the month in Aotearoa, the world record for the largest haka ever done was done by something like 6,000 or 7,000 people at once.
Wow.
Or maybe it was more. I might be mistaken about that. But anything from one to however many, as long as you're all doing it together, ideally in sync and like in tune with one another, it's there is no limit.
I wonder if there's a world record for the most people doing a virtual haka.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Julie is asking, is there any way that their clients can learn how to do the haka? I assume outside of visiting New Zealand themselves, is there anywhere they can learn here in the UK?
Yeah, you can. I mean, there are some online resources. It's probably worthwhile having a look on places like YouTube and stuff to see different performing arts groups performing it. But in terms of like an organized weekly get-together type thing, I wouldn't be able to recommend anywhere specifically. If you're in a place like London, I could encourage you maybe to take part in the Ngāti Rānana, the London Māori community have like a weekly get-together, and they have a kapa haka group that do work with Tourism New Zealand or with the New Zealand High Commission and stuff like that. So if you're in London, yeah, you can get together with the London Māori community. But if you're just looking to learn the haka yourself, then the first place or the first port of call might be somewhere like YouTube, or maybe just having a look online for some different Māori resources to start, learning a little bit of te reo Māori. But I wouldn't be able to recommend any specific place where you could take your clients to go and like learn the haka. Sorry.
Fantastic. That's a great tip. Thank you. Okay. Well, I think that's just about all we've got time for today. So thank you again, Jordan, for your time. Really appreciate it. It's been very insightful.
Fantastic. Well, yes, kia ora mai tātou. Thank you all very much for having me. And yeah, shout out to the whānau at TNZ, and shout out to everybody that's behind the scenes making this a great occasion for you all out there. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. The haka is something very important to the Polynesian culture in general. And although we would have been able to talk about a lot more, I'm hoping that small little taster was informative and interesting and a little bit of fun. And congrats to you all for learning the haka. You managed to do it in the better part of like 45 minutes. So yeah, thank you for having me. And yeah, all the very best to everyone out there. Kia ora, everybody.
Amazing. Thanks, Jordan. And just a few final words from me to the audience is please don't forget to check out the partner rooms in the virtual lobby. There's loads of educational material in there, downloadable bits and bobs that you can get to talk to your clients about New Zealand with. And then next up, for day 3 of TTG New Zealand Fest, we have the First Class Holidays Itinerary Showcase. We have a virtual fam, well, 2 virtual fams actually, of 2 top accommodation options. And then Anne's Crow will be sharing details of its bucket list experiences tomorrow as well. So that all kicks off at 10:30 a.m. So we look forward to seeing you then, and enjoy your evenings when you get there.